Hello everyone. I am Vickie Howell here in my backyard in Austin, Texas, and I'm going to be revealing what is in the June box for YarnYAY by Vickie Howell. So I'm going to give you a minute just in case you do not want to know. This is a spoiler alert minute for you to stop this video right away. If you do not want to know what's in the June box, you want to be surprised, I'll see you on the flip side. In the meantime, it is a lovely Saturday morning when I am shooting this, so I'm going to just take a sip of my mimosa. If you have a coffee or tea or whatever, cheers to you. Hello, it's good to see people starting to log on. Hi, Debbie. I'm going to give you about 30 more seconds until I start this, so you have been warned. Alrighty, so June's box. Got mine in the mail, just like you all will. First off, before I tell you what's in the box, I want to talk a little bit about the box size. So we're experimenting. As you know, we've only had one box so far, and we're experimenting with the size. And right now, it seems a little bit too big for the way that this subscription box service is set up. My whole gig is to really give you bite-sized portions of different kinds of high-end yarns and other delights so that you can decide what you want to invest in later. So they may not always fill this box, but at the same time and in the spirit of reusing, I think this is a great size box to keep for organizational purposes. So we're going back and forth. So I'm just throwing that out there. We haven't made a life decision. The next couple months boxes are this size. And I'm going to do a couple of posts talking about how you can reuse them. All right, I have stalled long enough. Hi, Rose. Hi, Deborah. Okay, so. All right, so as always, you are going to get pattern. However, this month I'm experimenting, and this might be the new practice. It is actually patterns. So I'm going to deal with that in a second. You're actually going to get a little booklet, but I'm going to go over that once you know what we're making. Okay, so the first thing is, I'm so excited about this. All right, this is Jilly Cashmere, or Jilly with Cashmere. This is by a company owned by two women in Arizona, and they are Nancy and Veronica, and they have the most prolific line of colors that I've ever seen. They sent me all kinds of samples, and there must have been 100 colors. This color is called Liberation. For those of you that saw the haiku, that's where the Liberation came. And normally in stores, this comes in hanks of 440 yards, so about enough to make a shawl. It costs about $37. So before you make a life commitment on whether or not you want to invest that, just for us, exclusively for YarnYAY, they created half hanks for us. So 220 yards. This is a semi-solid, and you'll see more when I show you the projects how you can really see the different variances in pink. It is delicious and delightful and so beautiful for the spring and summer months. So 220 yards, half hanks. You cannot get these anywhere else. They did this just for us. And this would retail, well, I'll talk about all the retail value later. All right, so gorgeous. This is 70% superwash merino, so you can wash it. 20% cashmere, and then 10% nylon just to help with the drape. So beautiful. All right, so the second thing is I enjoy having a pair of scissors in every one of my project bags. So this is a pair of vintage looking snips. Embroidery scissors just for little snipping of the ends of your yarn when you're weaving them in or whatnot. The actual shape goes with the theme of the projects that I'm going to show you, which I will tell you now is a little bit of lace. And so I thought that this sort of had a filigree feel, really beautiful, and I can never have too many of these small pairs. I like to keep them, like I said, in every single bag. So, gorgeous vintage looking scissors, to go with our Jilly with Cashmere. All right, and lastly, this, actually, well, yeah, not lastly, because we have to do the projects. Second to last. So I am thrilled to offer you a special edition. It was a 5-year, after their 5-year anniversary, they re-released their very first issue. They cleaned it up, improved it, of Pom Pom Quarterly magazine. So what that means, this isn't just like getting a magazine at the grocery store. This is really like a book. It includes, I want to say, 8 or 9 more, actually, I should have checked this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more patterns than the 2 that I'm offering you as well. These are gorgeous. So I love this magazine. It is sold in yarn stores. They have been around for about 5 years now. This is a collector's edition of this. It was just released, like I said, for their 5th year anniversary. This is their maiden voyage issue, but it has just been updated a bit. A little bit about Pom Pom Quarterly if you don't know anything about them. Another reason that I'm super excited, and you'll see how there's a little duplicity in how I have put together this box this month. Dream in Color, co-founded by women, 2 women. Pom Pom Quarterly, co-founded by 2 women. Pom Pom Quarterly is a publication that was started by 2 women, Lydia Gluck and Megan Fernandez. I met them here, but I've also worked, when I was over in the UK a couple of years ago, I worked at an event with them. I was able to announce a movie at an event they were throwing, so I got to meet, that was probably the second time I met Lydia. But Megan actually moved to Austin a few years back, a few years back. So there's a connection for me on 2 coasts, but definitely a Texas connection because Megan moved here. Her partner stayed in London. She's running the London office. Megan runs the Austin office, or excuse me, the US office here. So they are really killing it. They are now in over 20 countries on 4 continents, 250 stores. They really have grown this on their own without any VC money. And what's great about this issue is that this was their first, all of these designs are designed by either Lydia and Megan or Megan. Now, all kinds of, designers from all across the world are included, but because this was their first, their first thing, they did it all themselves. And for me, that's extra special. That really shows their heart. Pom Pom Quarterly has beautiful, simple, modern designs. And so this, and it can be anything from something basic to a little bit more difficult. If you're not into the patterns that we've included, there's definitely more that you can choose from in here. And for example, if you decide that you love the Jilly Dream, the Cashmere, Jilly with Cashmere, you might want to buy a full hank and make something like this project with it. They also have knit the history of a verb. They have little stories in it. So, fun fact, Megan got her master's degree in English, and she wrote her dissertation while she was in London on modern knitting history. And so, between that and Lydia's background in linguistics, where she's always trying to find parallels between grammar and knitting, you get a lot of special extras in the writing within this. So, there are several patterns, a beautiful pullover, wrist warmers, a cardigan, a pair of lovely socks that would also be an option with this yarn if you decided to get a full hank. Actually, yeah, you probably need a full hank. Anyways, beautiful reading. This is definitely like a book, and so I'm super thrilled. Okay, as I mentioned, last time in May, we just had a knitting project, and it really, anybody who's been following knows that I have love for knitting and crochet, and it was really, the reason why I didn't have it in both in the first box was really more about time and logistics than anything else. So I'm experimenting this month to see if it makes any difference if I have knitting and crochet. What makes my YarnYAY different from other subscription boxes as far as knitting and crochet goes, from what I've seen, and I could be wrong, you can point it out if I am, In other boxes, when they offer a knitting and crochet pattern, they're unrelated. Like it might be a shawl for one and a hat for another or whatever. And what I've learned over the past 15 years of working with my community is that knitters and crocheters really want to feel like they're included on the same thing together. So my goal this month, and if it goes well, I will continue that, is to design similar projects so that as close as they can be, they're different crafts, so they can't be an exact duplicate, they will be the same type of project at least. So this month's project is a Bandit scarf. Bandit just means that you wear it like this. Again, this was in the haiku clue as well. I loved to see what some of you thought Bandit might mean. This is something that you can actually wear right now. You know, a lot of the wrist warmers, which I loved from last month. You know, we're probably going to have to wait until fall to bust those out. This, however, you can wear now. So, the teachable skills that we will be working on are a simple lace repeat and working from tip. We start from this tip to tip. And if you also are a part of the YarnYAY group, the private Facebook group, we'll also go over in that group the math for if you wanted to make this longer or wider or change it up and, you know, with some more Jilly with Cashmere later. All right, so that's the knit version. The crochet version is also a Bandit scarf. Let's see if I can get this situated here. It is also worked tip to tip. It also has lace, crocheted lace. And so you're getting the same kind of experience no matter what your desire is or what your craft of choice is. Now that you can see this worked up, you can see how the color pools with the semi-solid on crochet versus with the knitted piece. So the exact same type of project, they're both, the crochet one has a little bit more of a subtle triangle shape than the other, but really beautiful drapey. I don't know if you can tell how drapey they are. And delightful, so soft in the cashmere. Okay, so you know that you are getting, I see people mentioning the mimosas. Let's stop and take a sip. Okay, so now I always make sure that you have a really beautiful printed pattern, but you will also, after you subscribe and after boxes have shipped, have the option of having a digital version as well emailed to you. I know some of you like to just have them on your iPad or your mobile device just to have them as a safety. So that is also a thing. So we've added a product, as I mentioned. So, you know, we have the knitting pattern, but we also have a crochet pattern. So that means we really have more of a booklet now. On the first page, there's a description of the products and a little bit about the companies. Again, I worked with 2 different companies that are independent and female run, owned by each respectively owned by 2 women. Then there is the knitting pattern. And then right in the same booklet, so you can keep them together, some of you may want to experiment and do both later, the crochet version is there. There's also a reminder for where you can find the YarnYAY group and other information like that. So really simple and beautiful and clean. So just to go over all of it, what the value is. So not only is there feel-good value for supporting, well, 3 female-run businesses, count me, but also you're going to be introduced to gorgeous cashmere yarn in a way that's affordable so that you can decide if maybe this is something that you want to treat yourself to a little extra bit of special. I see, before I move on, I see that people are asking about the size needles. So if you're making the knitting version, it is a US 5, so that's a 3.5 millimeter. If you are making the crocheted version, it is a size G hook. Okay. So let's do the math here, and then I'm going to close with logistics, and then I will let you go to enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. All right, so like I said, the Jilly cashmere, the Jilly with cashmere is not available in this size hank anywhere. If it were available, it would retail for about $17 right there. The patterns would retail for about $5 each. I will be releasing the patterns from YarnYAY the next month. So these are exclusive for the first month for YarnYAY subscribers. And then the next month when the new box is released, I will make just the patterns alone available on Ravelry. So this has 2 patterns this month, so this is worth $10, $10 value. All right, then we've got our Pom Pom Quarterly. This really retails for $14.50 US. Like I said, this is printed on high quality paper. This is a book. They call it a magazine. It is really more of a book. So $14.50. And then the scissors, I've seen these anywhere from about $10 to $12, so I split the difference and said 11. So that brings our grand total value, not including access to the Facebook group where I do individual videos. I even this last month wrote a completely new pattern for folks that wanted something a bit easier. The only thing that I can equate that to is one of my online classes, which would run about $30. So, but let's just count that as just like a gift. The product value is $52.50 for this. So the box costs $35, $3 shipping. I'm actually paying for some of the shipping. It costs a little bit more than that to ship, but we're all in this together. It's pretty exciting and glorious and lovely, and I'm so excited for you to just feel the goodness that comes out of this box and knowing that you are not only getting to work with beautiful supplies, but also you know, supporting our community and all of that. All right, last piece of business. The group, existing subscribers get first dibs. So that is going to happen around June 11th. We will open up to the public on June 13th once everyone's decided whether to make a life decision about if they want to pause or if they want to cancel or if they want to stay on. Full disclosure, if you are a subscriber and you are pausing for a month, meaning that, hey, this isn't my gig, but you know, I want to come back, you do you, absolutely, option. I do want to let you know though that that doesn't guarantee that your spot will be there when you come back. The platform that we use for the subscription service, it really doesn't have a way to prioritize folks. So I just want you to know it's possible that you could try and come back the next month and it might be sold out, and it may not. You could be fine. I just want to give you that. Also, if you were gifted a box, you will not automatically renew. If you signed up for monthly, you will auto-renew. If you were a gift, you have to go and sign up again. So please, you know, just let us know if that's something that you really want us to try and figure out before we open up to the public loudly. We're trying to figure that out. Again, still working out the kinks. And I think that's all. I think that's all there is right now. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for spending a little of, if you're watching this when it was live, your weekend time. If you're watching it when I share it publicly, then your weekday with me. And whoa, did you hear? I just went up like 2 octaves. Have a great creative week, and thank you for letting me put a little YarnYAY in your life. Bye everyone. Cheers.